Nothing can bother me. Today, I opened my email and I had an email from Jackson, the guy who put my bathtub in Mount Shasta so I get out of there. And he just sent me a speech some lady gave. So I parked it and I listened to it. Nothing is ever sent to me by accident. I'm gonna share it right here. I'm gonna recommend you listen to it first and then come back and hear what I have to say. Please listen to what this woman has to say. I don't watch the news. I couldn't. I have no idea what's going on outside of this world that I live in, my private little universe. But I get to know everything that I get to know because it comes from the sky, and I write about it. And the book that I just finished creating, The Bridge to Equality and Human Rights, it is done coming through me, and then Jackson sends me this. And you guys need to pay attention to the young generation, the younger generations, the people who are being given the leg up and the helping hand, and they get to stay living at home. They get paid to exist, paid for being born. These children, I'm just hoping for Darwinism to like sweep the land and take them all out because they have no skills. They don't have to. They're paid to breathe. They were paid to go to school. And I lived this firsthand. I witnessed a human being going from a caring, compassionate child full of love to someone who learned how to shut that part out in order to receive the income stream that comes through when you let all of that go and you celebrate the Lord and Master with the checkbook. I had a child at 39 years old when I was so ready to be a solid mother. I was ready to give her, him, whatever it would be, the opportunity to have solid footing to become who they are. For those first 18 years, John didn't want a whole lot to do with Hannah unless it came to sports. When she participated in sports with him, she was his favorite person on the planet. When I would say, I'm going to work at KMPS, I've got to be on the air, please take her to the park, take her somewhere kids like to go. He would take her on the boat. He would take her golfing. He would take her to the driving range. It was always about him. It's like, oh, I have to babysit your child. This is the world we live in. It's not supposed to be that way. That's why I'm so relieved that I know the truth. I know the truth. So I watched this child grow up. This child came out to me because she knew if she came out to her father, he would say words to her that could never be taken back, and their relationship would be severed forever. She didn't want that because that is the wallet. That little girl sat next to me when her grandfather's memorial was going on in Pullman, and we were watching these people come up from everywhere talking about this amazing man. We're like, who in the hell are they talking about? We've never met this guy. When her dad refused to go spend the weekend on the 4th of July with his mother on the Oregon coast to help with dying dad, my child was there with me saying, Dad, you have to do it. When we got to the coast and we parked at Silver Surf and we brought our stuff in and he brought his bag in, that child brought his bag back to the car and said, you are going to see Grandma. Once he got in the door, he knew he did the right thing. Well, he didn't. I had to make him do it. I had to make him do it. For 6-8 weeks, I got this stage set so he would stay there. He knew he had to be there to help his mother. So then he did the right thing. The narrative that she gave then was this. The narrative she will give you now is, it's not exactly how it worked. Because this man, she was paid to go to college. College was paid for, and I found out her senior year in college, she was paid to go. She was receiving inheritance all 4 years of college. So when I said, she really needs to get a job, she needs to learn how to balance her schedule, wake up on time, meet people that have different personalities, all those things that normal humans should do to survive in the planet with everybody else. And it was like I was talking to Charlie Brown's mom. Wah, wah, wah. She never had to get a job. Ever. When I offered to put this child through welding school or auto mechanics so she'd have some marketable skill to be useful in the world, she was appalled that I would suggest such a thing, that she would have to go to such a trade school. I raised a child who was strong, resilient, and when she would come home from school crying because she was tough, she was a bully, she was a spoiled child, I'm saying that. She would have arguments with her friend and I would say, call them immediately, stick the phone in her hand, and within seconds they'd be laughing. I made her strong. In college, Dad had to take over. Daddy Warbucks was now in charge of the money doling and all that good stuff. I did not know. I saw how she was raised in a place with money, but I made sure we were very grounded and we had life and love more than anything. But when Daddy Warbucks took over and nobody told the mother said child was receiving inheritance and getting paid to go to school, didn't have to do anything, sit on the laurels, and even have her cardiologist say, you need to think more about that heart in your body because you're not taking care of it. None of that matters because he's paying the bills. When I told her I met Alden and I was running away with this man I met in Sedona, even though he died shortly thereafter, the only thing this child feared, because she knew her dad had to have a woman in his house immediately, was that she was going to be cut off financially. These are the children, the Rob Reiner children, who we've given them money and they don't have to do anything other than live and get paid to survive. This is the problem with our planet. You've taken care of them, you've wiped their asses, you've made their lunch, and you sent them out the door with a kiss, and then you're like, now what do I do with myself? Wait for them to have babies. You ruined your children by inserting yourself and your life above theirs, by doing for them so they never had to get their hands in the dirt and learn how to do stuff on their own. You ruined your children. My child is not my problem. I was on the path I had to be on. Had I left 10 years earlier, oh, it would have been different. But that's not the way the path had to go. She had to be fully immersed in the money world and to say, mother, or the dad that was going to say something that she would have to never speak to him again when she came out to him. She had to make sure that that relationship was intact because she requires it. This child has no skills. They went to college, they got a degree. They don't want to do anything more. I am looking forward to the thinning of the herd, the people who don't want to know how to build from their hands, that don't want to know how to create on their own and trust that they are enough. I hope to God they're all shaken off this planet when it shakes and rattles and rolls, because we can't carry you. You are the problem, and your parent who is now bored stiff because they have no life, because without babies that you're going to give them, what do they have? Hobbies, selling real estate, painting, knitting. You guys have a path and a plan, but we are so fucked up as a society, you'll never find it. I seriously hope we have earthquakes and floods. People like me are gonna know where to go. We need to erase a big shit ton of you. You are the problem with our planet. Be well. Good luck with that.